There is some speculation that Bernie Sanders will soon come out and officially endorse Hillary Clinton. Now, he has in the past claimed that he will vote for Hillary Clinton in order to defeat Trump. But now, according to the Huffington Post, there are officials saying that in the coming days, he will come forward and officially endorse her. The endorsement is expected to occur next Tuesday when Sanders and Clinton will appear together at a rally in New Hampshire, Democratic sources first told NBC News. Now, Bernie Sanders was quoted as saying the following: "We have got to do everything that we can to defeat Donald Trump and elect Hillary Clinton. I don't honestly know how we would survive 4 years of Donald Trump as president."
So my quick thoughts on this are, this is exactly what we thought Bernie Sanders was doing. He was trying to get as much policy concessions as he can, push the Democratic Party to what Washington considers the left, but if you look at the polling, is actually the center of the country. And he did it on a lot of issues. Minimum wage went from $12 to $15 in the Democratic platform, and now Hillary Clinton's behind that. And now recently, very recently, the education plan, where now it's pushing towards free tuition rather than the kids having to work and the parents having to pay, which, as Anna has pointed out for a long time, is very similar to the system we have now. So he pushed that in the right direction as well. And then likely next week he will officially endorse Hillary Clinton. You just heard in that quote, he said he's going to vote for Hillary Clinton. So for those of you who are diehard Bernie Sanders supporters, don't get too disappointed. Okay, now Bernie Sanders sometimes speaks for you, and of course he doesn't in other ways, right? Everybody's human and is part of this democracy and has their own opinion. Nobody knows that better than Bernie Sanders, and you know that, so you're not going to let any politician tell you what to do, including Bernie Sanders. But what I'm asking you to do is hear him out. And that's not because I'm telling you, rah, rah, Hillary Clinton. We have, since we said she is the nominee, that was after the indictment, it's, I think, absolutely over, right? The lack of indictment. But we've criticized her anyway. I've criticized her fundraising. I've criticized her on policy because our job is to cover the news. Now, who you vote for is a different question and something you're going to decide when you get in the voting booth. No matter what I say, Bernie Sanders says, Hillary Clinton says. Well, actually, what Hillary Clinton says is very important.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to decide it for you. But what I'm telling you is, Sanders, for the diehards, he's not like betraying you or anything like that. He's fighting for you as hard as he possibly can to get the policy positions you want. And he thinks the best way to do that is to fight for them now, probably endorse Hillary Clinton next week, and then to keep fighting for them.
Right.
And I think that's a very reasonable position.
I think that the best thing that he could do with, the situation that he's in right now is to keep holding her feet to the fire and get her to concede on the policy issues. And he's successfully done that on two very important issues that impact the middle class and the working class. I want him to continue doing that. He's a fighter. He'll continue fighting. And, it's either this or he gives up and just becomes irrelevant completely. And we don't want that.
Because there's still a reality,
Yep.
despite when his movement will continue even beyond this campaign, hopefully.
Yes.
But there's still a reality of a next president will be elected in a few months, and you have to choose between the two options that are going to be presented. And so you have to choose the person who Bernie has been able to influence towards the goals you believe in, and not then by saying, but still I don't like her, so you're going to maybe let the other person get in. Bernie was even smart politically by encouraging and holding out and getting the platform further that way, because those are issues that activate young people, that make young people very excited. And statistically and historically, when young people come out and voter turnout is higher, Democrats win. So he's just doing whatever he still can after not winning the nomination to get the more important thing than him being president, the issues.
And that's a good note to end on, because if the Democratic Party is smart, then I have a message for them as well, which is, it's not just a matter of placating Bernie Sanders and his supporters, like, oh, a pat on the back or the head, like, oh, it was not a cute little run you had, and now you fall in line and do whatever you're going to do. If you actually want them to excited and to show up and vote, the most important person, as I just said earlier, is what Hillary Clinton says and what she does. So actually do those things, and they will be energized, and then you might win the election. And then we might have some of those policy positions.
Right.
Wouldn't that be lovely? Right? So that's largely in Hillary Clinton's hands. I think Bernie Sanders has done all he can on the policy front, will do all he can on the electoral front, and the rest is up to the Clinton campaign.
The one final thing I want to say is, look, regardless of who gets elected into office, the movement behind Bernie Sanders does not need to end. It doesn't need to die. You can continue fighting for everything that you want policy-wise. So don't let the fact that Bernie Sanders is not the nominee discourage you from being a fighter. Don't be a defeatist. You have the power to hold politicians accountable. So do it.
Don't make the same mistake as the establishment pundits. This isn't just about electoral politics in the horse race. So yes, as Bernie Sanders would say, the struggle continues. And that continues through elections, through legislative action, through grassroots actions. This is not the end. This is the beginning.